excited about that, because when children are motivated with their outside activities and connected into their community, it benefits them. But the one that I think that is really going to meet the needs of every student in a small high school, to get those very highly specialized courses with a teacher that has the expertise, is our virtual high school. So if you have somebody in that school, a small group of children that want to take advanced chemistry, for example, they can. Using the virtual technology, which is a real teacher, real time, somewhere in the province, and the children working together in a classroom with their computers. It's online but live. It's a real person. It's live time. So that is, we're going to make sure that our high school kids get what they need, even though their schools are getting smaller. So we're providing funding to the board to help them with full-time equivalents, but we're also providing virtual high. But I also am very interested in students recognizing that we're going to have them have the opportunity for that outside work that they're doing, if it's cadets or 4-H, that they can use that as one of their high school credits. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further members offering questions, I would now offer the Honourable Minister of Education the opportunity for some concluding remarks and to move her estimates.
I gotta find them.
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would like to take this moment to say a few closing remarks. And they did provide me notes, but I think that I would, from the bottom of my heart, I would actually like to look at the members opposite to thank them very much for the engaging conversations that we've had around the important issues around education. I hope that, that people here recognize my commitment to education and how much of a passion it is to me, and how hard we are working as a government to make sure that we are providing opportunities for every child in the province to be successful. And there's a few things I do need to get back to some members from yesterday around some of our line items, but if any member at any time, and I think that the members opposite know that I sincerely mean this, that if there's any information that you need from the Department of Education or from me, please feel free to approach me at any time on those, and we'll get the information that you need, or if you have a concern that you need to bring to my attention, I'm there for you to come to. Please don't hesitate in any way. We're here for the benefit of all of our students, and definitely we're working together to that end. I would also like to thank Frank Dunn, who's been very patient with me over the last couple of days, and I'd like to thank Anne Blackwood. I'd like to thank them for being here, and I would also like to thank Dr. Lowe, who was here for a number of days, but I also don't want to thank them just for sitting here on each side of me over the last couple of days and today. I want to thank them for the work that they're doing on behalf of students in the province. They're extremely dedicated to making sure that children are successful in our school system. When I say that, I mean it with passion. These people are dedicated to our children in the province, and we're extremely blessed to have them working in the Department of Education. We have an education system that we can be proud of. It's an education system that there's many things that we're doing very well, and we've looked at that, and we are going to work on those strengths. We've also recognized, especially around math, that we have some issues, and we are taking steps now as we speak to correct them. Thank you. You can see that we're building on what we need to do, but that will when we get to that point, we're not going to stop. We are going to make sure that we have all of our Schools Plus sites in every county in this province to meet the needs of our students. We're going to continue to build on our virtual high school so that we have the ability for every student, no matter which school they are in, high school they're in the province, can get the courses that they want. Now, it might be, even in a large high school, that children will be taking virtual courses because it might be interests that they have, or it might be a scheduling problem. And I mean, I know that those of us who have had are raising children, have raised their children, sometimes because of the cycle of courses, they weren't able to pick up or schedule their courses. So this is going to help with their scheduling situation. The in-school work that we're doing within the department is going to benefit students, parents, the school boards, and especially the Department of Education. We will now have data that we can work with. We are going to make sure that looking at our data that we are going to be nimble and react to it in the way that we need to. If we have programs that aren't working, then we're going to have to do something about that. We need to, having that data is our solid ground for being able to move forward with appropriate, sustainable programming for our children. The education plan that we have, Kids and Learning First, is ambitious, but I know it's doable. We have good partnerships with our partners that work with young people around this province to help us be successful with this for our children. We're asking school boards to manage their facilities and look at how schools are used in their communities. You've heard me mention looking at it in a regional approach. Some of our buildings are emptying out with enrollment and also are tired. In some cases, we are going to have new commitments for new schools. We have a plan. We recognize, though, with this regional review, not every school in Nova Scotia is going to stay open. Some are tired and some just have lost the ability to operate as a school anymore because of the few numbers. But that being said, we are protecting, this government is protecting our isolated schools, our small and isolated schools. You've heard me talk about high schools that have lower numbers, where we have steps in place to make sure that children in those small high schools get the courses that they need. We're also looking, especially the member opposite from the Cape Breton area, I think that he told me that every single one of his schools in his district is isolated because of geography. Well, we're making sure that school boards are receiving the extra funding that they need to keep those schools open. We don't want kids on buses 2 hours driving to the next community. Schools are the heart of the community. We recognize that, and with our funding formula, we are providing to the school boards. There's 98 schools that have been identified as being isolated or small in the province. And when I say isolated, I just want to reiterate that the formula talks about from school to school, but part of that, we look at each region to how far the child travels to get to school, because that can be a significant amount of time, and that's factored into how those schools are considered isolated. Because if you have a child driving in from a far or rural area into the school, people might say, well, this doesn't really look that isolated. There's a school 25 minutes away, 30 minutes away, but we deem it isolated because we recognize where the children are traveling from. And so we're going to there's dedicated funding for these small and isolated schools and small high schools. So we're asking school boards to manage their facilities, but we're asking them to do it with the community long before a school ever hits the school review. We've got so many exciting projects that we're working on that are rolling out. Ships Start Here has caused an optimism in this province that has never been seen before. You can feel it when you're going to community across Nova Scotia. It's not just in the Halifax area. People are feeling hopeful. Young people are feeling hopeful. To feel the sense of optimism in the Cole Harbour High the day they found out that one of the skills trade sites would be constructed there was amazing. You could feel it in the room. Opportunity coming for young people on the Dartmouth side of the harbour. There are 9 sites for skills trades in the province of Nova Scotia right now. And my member opposite, we're going to get yours up and running very soon in its full capacity and up in your neck of the woods. That was an unfortunate procurement problem there, but didn't stop the work. Teachers are adaptable and students are even more so. So they were still meeting the needs. But That will be our 10th site. We are going to make sure that this province has 18 centres for skills trades so that our students have the opportunity to get their hands on and learn. We're adding a new course, and I don't think I've made mention. We have a manufacturing course being developed right now at the Department of Education with people from the industry, making sure that we're providing the program appropriately. We're building that curriculum. That's pretty exciting that we've added a course in. But at the same time, we're doing a review of the 150 offerings that we have in the province to make sure that the courses that we're offering our children are the courses that they need for 21st century living. And we want, when our children get to a certain point in their education, when they leave grade 12, we have provided them the wings to be successful. We don't want them to leave grade 12 not having all of the skills. So because of that, we recognize that math has been a problem, and we're correcting that. With work with the school boards and the Department of Education, where we have started work moving forward to bring in the Western Protocol in this province so that children have the opportunity to get a firm, solid foundation at their developmental level as they move through the system so that when they leave grade 12, they have a firm and solid understanding of math, and they have the choice of any career that they wish to go in, be it in the trades, be it in the sciences, be it in the humanities, the arts. Math is essential to who we in our society, and we want our children to feel strong and confident. And to have strong and confident math graduates, we need to have dedicated teachers with expertise. So we're looking forward to having conversations with the Nova Scotia Teachers Union around standards that are in place to make sure that the teacher that is in the classroom teaching the course has the expertise and the knowledge. A member opposite mentioned to me that he had was aware of teachers being 1 week or 2 weeks ahead in a course of their students. That's not acceptable. We are not accepting that. We are accepting the fact that we need to have a very serious and strong dialogue to create standards in this province so that the teacher that works with the student has the expertise. And you know what? We have the expertise in the system. We have teachers that have that background. But because of seniority and all of those issues around collective agreements, the children have been shortchanged on that, and we need to work around that. And I'm sure that we can have a dialogue to remedy that situation so that when teachers retire and classes and staffing is in place, that especially have dedicated teachers with the expertise to teach. Now, I made a comment earlier on today around a primary teacher going to high school, but you know, if you think of a high school teacher going down to primary teachers, grade 1 teachers have early development and early literacy training. We need to keep those teachers with our youngest, and we need to make sure that our math and science teachers are in the classes with our math and science courses. I have to say that it's an absolute honor to be in this position. I think people, and I hope people, recognize the depth of my passion towards education. It's been my life. I remember when I was 5 years old, I said to my mother I wanted to be a teacher, and she was horrified. She was just like horrified.
I want to be a hockey player. Now I'm horrified.
Yeah. And you know, some people have not the same affection to being in school, but I loved my primary teacher. Everything that is important in life you learn in primary. And my teacher, Cassie Faulkner, I loved her, and I said I want to be just like her. And then I had a grade 2 teacher, Ella Rose. She just passed away not too long ago, and she was the absolute most wonderful guidance in my life. She was kind, caring, compassionate. She nurtured her students. She taught them. I wanted to be a teacher. I started out on a path that wasn't going to put me as being a teacher, but after my first degree, I said, you know what, I'm going to follow my passion. I want to be a teacher, so I shifted gears and went into education. I took special education. I never worked a day in my life because I loved what I did. I taught. I didn't go to work. I went to school. And my passion is part of the job that I do now in this province. I have passion for our children that are suffering with addictions and mental health. I have passion for our children. We know we need to get them up and moving. We need them to eat healthy. We need them to exercise. We need our children having dedicated, strong teachers in front of them that love them, and the teachers we have in this province do. I haven't met a teacher yet in my career that doesn't have passion for the work they do. I'm honored to be here, and I am going to work hard on behalf of every single student in this province to provide them every opportunity that we can. So I thank my members opposite for the estimate time. I have more time. Well, I look forward to our continued dialogue around our Kids on Learning First plan. I hope everyone has had the opportunity to share that with their colleagues and with other citizens. It is definitely, it's an overview. In the coming days, you're going to hear me talk more about the personal credit, which I have a great deal of interest in seeing start, because I've seen young people out in the community doing wonderful things, and we need to make sure that they're recognized to be able to do that. So again, I want to thank my staff for being here, and I also want to add, it's very important to recognize we have the challenge of declining enrollment in this province, and we're tackling it. We're providing the best possible education that we can for our students, and our budget is based on what children need. It can be a difficult time when we're in a time of change, but I have a great deal of faith in the professionals in our community that are going to be able to make sure that we have a strong, sustainable system for our students. And with that, Madam Chair, it's been an honor to be here with you today. Be it resolved that a sum not exceeding $1 billion. The Finance Minister is giving me a hard time. Madam Chair, I'm going to have to start again. Be it resolved that a sum not exceeding $1,112,830,000 be granted to the Lieutenant Governor to defray expenses in respect of the Department of Education pursuant to the estimate. And with that, Madam Chair, I take my seat.
Shall the resolution stand? The resolution is stood. We'll now take a brief recess to check in with our subcommittee on supply, and our staff can clear. please. The time for the Committee of the Whole House on Supply has elapsed. I would now recognize the honourable member, the acting Government House Leader.
Thank
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and appreciate everybody's comments here today. I move that the committee do now rise and that you report progress and beg leave to sit again.
Motion is carried. The committee will now rise and report its business to the House. Okay, order please. The Chair and the Committee of the Whole House on Supply reports.
That the Committee of the Whole House on Supply has made considerable progress and begs leave to sit again.
Motion is carried. I now recognize the Honourable Deputy Government House Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That concludes the government business for today. I ask that the House do rise to meet again on Monday, April the 16th at 4 p.m. The House hours to be 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and following the daily routine, public bills for second reading 5, 9, 11, 13, and 17, and of course the whole House in supply. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The motion is that the House does now rise to meet again Monday, April 16th, between the hours of 4 and 10 p.m. All in favour, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is carried.